60 days from the election, we thought we would be talking about Obamacare, the economy, and yet foreign policy is dominating the discussion to the point that if you pick up the Washington Post today, dueling op-eds, dueling essays from Hillary Clinton, we're pretty sure she's running for president next time, and some guy named Mitt Romney. We're pretty sure he's not running for president next time, but we keep getting him in the national debate. Here's Hillary Clinton defending the president's foreign policy while writing a book review about a new book by Henry Kissinger. She says this kind of methodical, multilateral diplomacy is often slow and frustrating, rarely making headlines at home, but it can pay real dividends that affect the lives of millions of people. And without an effective regional order, the challenges multiply. So she's defending sort of the go slow, talk to people, build alliances. Mitt Romney, in a what I'll call a counterpunch, you call it what you want at home, says this president has it dead wrong because he's trying to cut military spending. Mitt Romney writes, the most ludicrous excuse for shrinking our military derives from the president's thinking, quote, things are much less dangerous now than they were 20 years ago, 25 years ago, or 30 years ago. The safer world trial balloon, Romney writes, has been punctured by recent events in Ukraine, Afghanistan, Libya, Egypt, Gaza, Nigeria, Somalia, Syria, and Iraq. Failures of imagination, he writes, led to tragedy 13 years ago, a 9/11 reference today. No imagination is required to picture what would descend on the United States if we let down our guard. Let's start first with the fact that is foreign policy going to dominate the final 60 days of this election and then be the early part of the 2016 debate?
I would say to those two questions, no and yes. I think that it is background noise to the midterms, but I don't think it's going to be decisive. I think most of these campaigns are still being waged largely on the economy or on issues specific to those states, not so much on Obamacare. We haven't heard as much about Obamacare as we expected, but absolutely this is going to be the debate in 2016, especially with Hillary Clinton at the center of it. It inevitably will be. But, you know, it's interesting how neither of these op-eds really grapple with the foreign policy issues of the day. You know, we have Hillary Clinton sort of arguing in the abstract for this sort of pragmatism and interestingly aligning herself with the legacy of Kissinger, sort of cleverly appropriating him to her philosophy, saying, I'm like him, we both believe in like the complicated thing, but she doesn't give any answers. She doesn't take sides on any of the debates going on. And Romney is the same way. He's saying we shouldn't cut the military. Well, that's not the debate we're having right now. He's not weighing in on whether we should intervene against ISIS or any of the actual problems that we currently face.
But you do wonder, going into 2016, traditionally voters don't really vote on foreign policy, and you wonder with Hillary Clinton as a candidate potentially if that's going to change.
And that's why you do see, I think, a debate within the Republican field. Now, Romney has stepped forward, and most of the establishment is grateful because even though he lost the last election, they'd rather he be their front man right now because they have such a debate among their potential 2016 class. One of them is Rand Paul, who sometimes his greatest asset is his dad and that libertarian base around the country. Sometimes his greatest liability is his dad because of his dad's views, especially about projecting military force. Rand Paul writes in Time magazine in another essay, some pundits are surprised that I support destroying the Islamic State in Iraq and greater Syria militarily. They shouldn't be. I've said since I began public life that I am not an isolationist, nor am I an interventionist. He says he calls him as he sees him, and in this case, he says the president's dead wrong and should be more robust, muscular-wise. Is that a surprise?
It isn't to people like me who've been watching Rand Paul carefully and actually listening to what he's saying, but Rand Paul has been frustrated his entire career that he has been caricatured and tagged with this isolationist label, and he is trying to establish an identity that is a little bit more complex than that. In that respect, this current crisis is a little bit of a gift for him because it gives him an opportunity to say, here's something I would do. See, I'm not for just retreating to our borders and never doing anything. Here's a case, and he can say, you know, this is a case-by-case thing for me. I think that we shouldn't be as involved as we are in some places, but in other places it's a different calculus.
And the skepticism is not just, you know, from us, the Republican establishment, and it's probably unfair, to your point, maybe unfair to Rand Paul at some degree that they don't give him a chance to make his case. They just say, Ron Paul's son, we don't want that.
And some of the things that he said on the floor, some of his filibusters, drones, and things like that. The John McCain, Lindsey Graham establishment wing of the Republican Party is very nervous about Rand Paul's growing popularity in places like Iowa and his potential of being a strong Republican candidate. So I think, as you said, that this is kind of a not a love letter, but a hey guys, it's going to be okay. I'm not my dad.